We've got more high school basketball talk this week, plus an in-depth look at the organization called Philadelphia Youth Basketball. Next on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN. Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought. Let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein, joined as always by Mike Samsel. And Mike, last week we started to get into the Pioneer Athletic Conference just a little bit with Upper Merion, right now undefeated in the pack. They've got a really big matchup with Perkiomen Valley coming up this week.
Yeah, they sure do. I'm really interested to see what Perk Valley is, because we talked about them a lot during the football season. We talked about Justin Jaworski breathlessly during the football season. Well, he might actually be a better basketball player. 5'11" guard. He's got some offers from the PSAC schools in Division II, schools like Kutztown, Westchester, Millersville, starting to get some Patriot League and Ivy League looks. But I don't know what to make of this conference yet. I don't know what to make of Upper Merion. They got a good big guy. Got an offer from Holy Cross and Matt Fall. Josh Verlin really likes this kid. Says some more offers are going to roll in as the season goes along. So I just want this picture to be a little more clear. And I think it's going to be after this game. Either Upper Merion's going to have a little bit of space and a little bit of separation, or we're going to say, hey, Perk Valley's in this.
Yeah, and Perk Valley has a pretty tough week. Not only do they play Upper Merion, but they've got Downingtown East on Saturday. So a big week for the Perk Valley Vikings and Justin Jaworski. And we will find out a lot about PV, especially this week.
Well, the thing I like about PV, and this is going to kind of be a theme all throughout the show, I like teams that schedule difficult. It makes you better as the season goes on. This is a difficult week. And Perk Valley might lose both games, but that doesn't mean they're worse off because of it. They're going to be a better basketball team in February, in March, because of the games they're playing right now and the tough competition.
Yeah, and I think you see that with a Suburban One team in Abington. They played 3 Catholic League teams in non-league play, lost all 3 of them, Archbishop Wood, Roman, and Newman Goretti, but now are undefeated in Suburban One play. But this might be the toughest test this week for them in Suburban One with Council Rock South.
Yeah, Council Rock South's a good basketball team under first-year head coach Derek Wright, younger brother of Jay. He's been in the Council Rock school district for quite a while. Was the coach of North, moved over to South this year, and he's found himself a pretty good player in Alex Nordenholt. Had 18 points in their game against Ben Salem, but if you're going to beat Abington, you have to answer one very simple but hugely difficult question. How are we going to stop Eric Dixon? Nobody in Suburban One has been able to solve it yet, and I don't see Council Rock South with the manpower to be able to slow him down.
Yeah, you saw the Catholic League teams try and get him away from the basket, and that certainly helped. But you're right, I don't know if CR South has anybody that's able to do that. But, again, it's going to be a good test for Abington and a really good test for Council Rock South as well. And speaking of big tests, Bonner Prendy. They have done a really good job so far this year. Third-year head coach Jack Concannon has the Friars rolling undefeated through last week. And guess what? They take on the Archbishop Wood Vikings. What a great matchup in the Catholic League.
Yeah, these are 2 schools we're looking to find out a lot about. They have 4 senior guards, this Bonner Prendy. All of them pretty darn good. But they're going to be facing some good guards in their own right in Tyree Pinkron and Colin Gillespie for this Archbishop Wood team. How do they respond? I think that's going to be really important. And also for Bonner Prendy, this is really their first big matchup of the season. Archbishop Wood's a little battle tested already. They've had some tough games. They're rolling a little bit. They got a big win over Ryan, I believe it was, in their conference schedule. So Bonner Prendy, how does this game hit them? Where does it hit them in the schedule? I think this is a bit of a tough matchup for Bonner Prendy, but hey, we've been underestimating them all year.
Yeah, the Friars have had somewhat of an easy schedule in the Catholic League so far. Wood lost to Judge and then beat Ryan, who had been undefeated, and then beat Carroll on Sunday. But the one advantage the Friars do have, it's going to be in Drexel Hill at their gym. You can imagine the student section is going to be going nuts for that game, so certainly an advantage there on the home court for Bonner Prendy. One team that won't have an advantage this weekend on home court is Math, Civics, and Sciences. They're going to be far away from home in Englewood, New Jersey, as they take on St. Benedict's Prep, who is number 5 in the state of New Jersey, and it's a big matchup for the Mighty Elephants.
It really is. St. Benedict's is a really good school. They've got a big man, 6'10", 225, Brahma Sidibe. He's committed to Syracuse, and he's everything that you think he is. Really good down in the post. He's got a decent scoring touch, but he's really good defensively. If you go in the paint, your shot's probably getting blocked if he's on the floor. He's a strong post player, but I don't know how athletic he is. We were watching his highlight tape. Doesn't look hugely natural running the floor. I'm interested to see what happens when he faces Mekhi Watson at 6'7", 205. Watson, a little more of the new school big man, right? A little bit smaller, but a lot more athletic. If Watson can hang down on the post with Sidibe, we got ourselves a game. If he can't and Sidibe dominates that matchup, it could be a long day for MCS, but that's not a bad thing. MCS is challenging themselves. They, again, are going to be a better basketball team for playing a team like St. Benedict's, for playing a team like Allentown. Even though they're matchups they might not come out of, when you get into conference play and then when you get into the district playoffs, you are better and you're battle tested. A lot of teams struggle because they don't schedule those big matchups. You get into a big atmosphere and all of a sudden your team doesn't quite know how to react to it.
Yeah, and we're going to get into the Catholic League and the Public League a little bit more later with Aaron Ace Carter of the Philadelphia Inquirer, but we'll roll on. We'll take a time out here on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Flippin' Shakes has everything from burgers to sandwiches to delicious milkshakes. The Sports Fan Base Network crew chows down on a variety of favorites, from classic egg creams to the trending mac and cheese burger. Located at 233 2nd Street Pike in Southampton, you can dine in or take out. Flippin' Shakes, great food, great service, a flippin' good time.
This segment is brought to you by Valley Financial Group, certified financial planners that organize your financial life and design plans for leaving your legacy. Valley Financial Group, helping you live the life you earned.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. You know, a lot of times people think the athletes we're talking about are molded in high school, but the process starts long before that.
I think Philadelphia youth basketball, as we like to call it, is like a movement. We feel like we are on a mission to, holistically, I believe, serve all of the young people through the sport of basketball. So I'm excited about being a part of the project, and I'm more excited about the day when we open the doors of our facility.
The mission of Philadelphia Youth Basketball is to create opportunities for young people to reach their potential as students, as athletes, and as positive leaders, both in their schools and in their communities. It started about 5 years ago, so it was born out of a need to have a holistic program for thousands of kids.
So I think the motivation was just led from the lack of access and the lack of facilities in the Philadelphia area. And unfortunately, the great basketball city that we live in, Philadelphia, had nothing that compared to what other cities offered. So our hope is that Philadelphia youth basketball will be able to bring something of that magnitude to our city. So we began 2 main programs under the Philly Youth Basketball umbrella. And one was our middle school partnership program, where we partner with several middle schools in the North Philadelphia section of the city. And then our second program is our summer camp series, where we partner with several of the major universities in and around the Philadelphia area and host a series of summer camps throughout the 6 to 8 weeks of the summer each year.
Oh man, I can't even tell you how much a pleasure it is to use the vehicle of basketball to interact with these, inner city youth. I work with suburban kids is basketball is just a great place to teach the kids about life. When Kenny and Eric came up with the Philadelphia Youth Basketball, I actually have been out of coaching for a little bit, and it just seemed like a great opportunity to get back in and to give back to the youth. I can't even tell you what a pleasure it's been working with Kenny, and I'm just going to follow it through to its fruition.
So the majority of kids that we serve right now, come from low to moderate income families, many of whom college is either an unknown or a question mark, and we're trying to make the access of college, whether or not that child, becomes an NCAA student athlete or not. We want higher education to become a very reachable reality in the lives of these kids.
And not just with the basketball side, with helping kids, that's all what I'm about. And also, I'm just excited and just overjoyed to be working with a great staff who I can call my friends.
We have a little more than 350 donors, individual donors. And there are people that value youth development, that are passionate about it, that are passionate about basketball, they're passionate about education. So I would say if you're interested in that, if you're passionate about those initiatives, it is a great cause to become a part of. I think that we are attractive in the sense that basketball is a hook, it's a carrot for kids, but we also provide students, athletes with education, academic component. So that has been a great success of ours as well.
So I'm an academic mentor with Philadelphia Youth Basketball. What that means for our program is we deal with the kids off the court and we do sports and social justice, and they really talk out what they think about these social issues. So the academic side of Philadelphia Youth Basketball is what makes this organization so special and different. I mean, there's a lot of AAU programs and after-school programs and CYO, but Philadelphia Youth Basketball uses basketball as a bridge to make them well-rounded people, and I think it's just a great organization in North Philadelphia, and hoping we can get that center built around Logan Triangle.
So right now we're putting together the pieces of a capital campaign, and we're going to raise $25 million, and we're building a world-class youth basketball and education center on the Logan Triangle in North Philadelphia. And it's going to be great. We're going to have a stadium court. We're going to have 6 to 8 training courts, 5 classrooms, a computer lab, a library, a strength and conditioning area, a healthy foods commissary, 6 outdoor courts, a picnic area. So it's going to be, we think, state of the art and something that our city, especially our basketball community, can be really proud of to call their own.
So I think the exposure that we bring to the young people that we serve, I think pretty much kind of drives the excitement that I have for when the PYB facility becomes a reality. I think the young people in the city of Philadelphia, I think the adults in the city of Philadelphia are going to be extremely excited about the opportunities that the Philadelphia Youth Basketball facility will bring to the young people in our area.
I'm very excited. For one, it's in my neighborhood where I grew up, so I think it's needed. It's going to be a great facility for the whole city of Philadelphia.
I have been fortunate enough to see programming and see the impact that it's currently providing our student athletes, and to understand that this facility will be serving thousands of kids in the future, in the near future. I really look forward to it, and I'm excited to continue to be part of this great mission.
So one thing I'd add is that this game, the game of basketball in our city, has iconic value. It's like no other sport in terms of the reach, the history, the tradition. And another dimension of the game is that it intentionally disrespects and disregards lines of race and ethnicity and neighborhood and ideology, that when people play basketball, they're all the same. That if you're good and you try hard and you work on your game, there's a place for you on a team or at a school or in the game. So in that sense, you take an iconic game that cuts across all sorts of lines that typically divide people, and it's an incredible unifier. And the way we're building PYB, from our staff and our volunteer base, our board of directors, our base of financial supporters, unbelievable diversity. So we think this is going to be a great thing for kids, but a real mobilizer and unifier for our city and region, and we feel very good about that.
Serving the community since 1974, Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center is perfect for the whole family. We provide a complete schedule of children's activities for ages 2.5 through 12 and a full-service fitness center for teens, adults, and seniors. Our sports arena features year-round roller hockey and seasonal indoor soccer leagues. Tennis, racquetball, aquatics, basketball, dance, karate, group exercise classes are all available to groups of all ages. Stop by and bring the whole family to the Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center at the corner of Cruisetown Road and Grand Avenue.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Get pain-free physical therapy. At PTW, we know that sometimes physical therapy can be tough and painful, so we do whatever we can to get you feeling pain-free again. Each one of our centers is equipped with an Alter-G anti-gravity treadmill or warm water therapy pool to unload your aching joints. From pre- and post-surgery rehab, fitness programs, and work injury rehab, PTW is your go-to therapy provider. Call or visit us online to schedule your PTW visit today.
Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you like pro sports?
Yeah.
Do you like college sports?
Of course.
Do you like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN.
This segment is brought to you by Sluggersville, Philadelphia's first premier year-round indoor baseball and softball training facility. With over 40,000 square feet of turf and 22 cages, Sluggersville is the largest of its kind in the area. Call 215-673-1258 to schedule your rental or training session.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. We are joined now by Aaron Ace Carter of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Ace, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So the Interact tripleheader happened last Friday night, and it's always a great event, and probably the middle game of those three games, Haverford School and GA, that was kind of the highlight of the night, and the Fords, they come out on top, and they look pretty good right now.
Makes you wonder if we're seeing sort of a changing of the guard here in the Interact. Germantown Academy won the last 4 championships outright in league play. This is actually the first time they lost the season opener since the 2009-2010 season. But when you look at this Haverford School team, you start with Karan Randolph, about a 5'11" junior point guard for them, guy that can get into the lane and score, shoot from the outside. Then you have Christian Ray, who's a big guy for them, 6'5", sophomore. He actually reminds me a lot of Nick Alikakos from Episcopal, and as we spin it forward and look at the rest of the league, Alikakos has been out for a few weeks with an ankle injury. He hopes to come back, if not this week, then next week. This team has been kept afloat by Connor Delaney, about a 6-foot point guard for them, real crafty with the ball. I like the way he plays the game, I like the pace that he plays at. But this team, it's sort of indicative of the rest of the Interact. Not a lot of Division I talent across the league, Mike, but I think that that's going to make for an interesting season.
Yeah, it really is. I said it last week. The Interact at the top isn't as good as it usually is, but the bottom is much better. So the Interact's going to be a must-watch league. Every game, someone can knock off someone else. But the thing I like about this Fords team, you mentioned Karan Randolph and also Christian Ray, junior and sophomore. This team is only going to get better as the year goes on.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think they're the team to beat right now, but I think the Interact will be pretty competitive, as will Public League Division A, maybe except for Imhotep. They're kind of head and shoulders above the rest, but you take a look at some of these other teams. Great game this past week. Del Val beats Martin Luther King, and the Warriors lost to Imhotep and Constitution to start the year, so nice to see them bounce back.
It's easy to forget that Del Val is the defending Public League champion, and they also won the district title last year. They lost some senior leadership from that team. They have a new coach. coach in James Lewis. But Mekhi Morris is still there. He led them in scoring last season. He's doing it again this season. Antoine Butler, still the point guard for them. Junior point guard, getting some Division I interest. And this is a team that they lost to Imhotep, lost by double digits, lost by 20-plus points. But that game was closer in the fourth quarter than people actually realize. This team is, they're still a dangerous team, this Del Val squad.
Yeah, and MCS is pretty dangerous as well. They beat Constitution, and we talked about that. That's going to be a huge matchup going all the way through the state tournament. But MCS, they get the upper hand to start things off.
And I really like how this MCS school is challenging themselves as well. They got crushed by Reading, but they played them. That's a basketball game that's going to make them a better team. Then you have the win over Constitution, and then coming up, they're going to play St. Benedict's up in New Jersey. Again, they're challenging themselves. They might not win that game against St. Benedict's, but it's going to make them a better basketball team in February and March.
And we thought that Archbishop Wood, they played a really tough non-conference schedule as well, really challenged themselves, thought they'd be ready for PCL play, but guess what? They got knocked off by Father Judge, who we predicted maybe middle of the road in the Catholic League, but how good are the Crusaders after this win over Archbishop Wood?
What I like about this Judge squad offensively is the continuity offense that they run, somewhat similar to what Princeton runs, where they can manufacture buckets for guys who or otherwise wouldn't get buckets. But then you also have Mark Rodriguez, who's a senior guard for them, had 27 in that game against Wood, scored 1,000 points in his career for the program. And this is a dangerous team. This is somewhat similar to the Interac and the Public League, where you not as much top-level talent, aside from New Magretti has Quade Green and Damier Cosby-Roundtree going to Kentucky and Villanova, respectively. But aside from that, you're going to start to see these close games where anyone can beat anyone.
And I'll tell you what, this Judge team gave Roman all they were looking for. They needed a 3 at the buzzer, so it's very possible that we just underrated Father Judge.
Yeah, I think they are certainly up near the upper echelon of the PCL, as is Archbishop Carroll. And Archbishop Wood, speaking of them, they actually beat Carroll this past Sunday. And I'll tell you what, Ace, I don't remember the last time the Vikings actually beat the Patriots.
Yeah, this Viking squad is deep and talented. And what I like most about them is they're a complete team. They have guys that can score. They have guys that can play defense, guys that will do everything. Seth Pinckney in that game, 6'11", junior, had 9 block shots in that game. Then you have a guy like Colin Gillespie, who's a senior point guard for them. He had 28 points. And then Tyree Pickron, he'll do everything. He'll defensive rebound, start fast breaks. He had 8 rebounds in that game. So this is a deep and talented Wood team, and I expect them to give people trouble in the Catholic League and contend with New Magretti for the top spot.
Well, we're going to find out a lot about this Wood team when they take on Bonner Prendy on Friday, a much improved Bonner Prendy team.
Yeah, Bonner Prendy is indicative of another one of these teams that's under the radar. Last couple years, that program has really struggled, but they've built it back up. And I start with Christian Lane, their 5'9" senior point guard, jet quick, can shoot it from the outside, can play well in transition. Ajiri Johnson is a big guy for them, 6'8". He's raw, but he's talented. He's athletic. He might get in foul trouble, so that will hurt. That can hurt them. And Wood is so deep and talented in their front court, where they can bring Seth Pinckney in and start him at 6'11", and then Carrington Wallace comes off the bench. He's 6'7", so they're big and talented. But this is going to be a close game, I think.
And remember that Wood and Bonner Prendy, not only PCL rivals, but they're both at the 5A level in the PIAA, and also Archbishop Carroll's at 5A. So we could see a lot of competition within those teams. Ace, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Check out what's coming up on the Sports Fan Base Network. Well, it's time to make some picks, and Mike, you just had a phenomenal week last week, 4-0, and I went 1-3, taking the overall lead.
Yeah, well, you probably should get used to it.
Well, I'm going to try and make up some ground this week. So you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start in the Pioneer Athletic Conference. Perkiomen Valley against Upper Merion in the game starting about 20 minutes from now.
Upper Marion's a traditional power. I favor them in this matchup. I like their guy down in the post, Matt Fall. This might be his kind of coming out party. Josh Ferlin thinks he's going to get a lot more D1 looks. You come out and handle a school like Perk Valley, you get noticed.
Well, and I think Jaworski on Perk Valley is going to get some looks after this game from D1. So I'm going to take Perkiomen Valley in this game. I like the Vikings a lot. I like Jaworski. He plays with a lot of energy, and I think it'll be too much to handle for Upper Merion. All right, in Suburban 1. Council Rock South against Abington also taking place tonight.
Council Rock South is off to a great start this season. They should be very proud. Derek Wright is going to build them a fine program. they're running into a buzzsaw tonight in Eric Dixon. I just don't think they have the manpower to slow him down. And there's no shame in that. I don't think anyone in Suburban One can slow down Abington this year.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think Abington wins this game. Council Rock South, I think, will definitely put up a fight. But yes, Eric Dixon, a little bit too much to handle for CR South, so I like the Ghost in this one. Catholic League, huge matchup in Drexel Hill. Archbishop Wood at Bonner Prendy on Friday night.
We're just going to keep underestimating Bonner Prendy, aren't we? Well, at least I am in this matchup, because I'm going to go with Archbishop Wood. Battle-tested. Seth Pinckney down in the post is good. They like to play that four-guard matchup, does Bonner Prendy. I think Archbishop Wood might be able to outsize them and get them out of their game.
Yeah, I think Wood will win this game as well. I like the Vikings. Again, Bonner's going to put up a fight, and that place is going to be rocking in the student section. But I think Archbishop Wood, they're on a roll, especially after beating Carroll on Sunday. So I'm going with the Archbishop Wood Vikings. And finally, Math, Civics, and Sciences in North Jersey against St. Benedict's Prep.
MCS should be proud of themselves for scheduling this matchup. They are a really good basketball team who's going to make noise in the PIAA. St. Benedict's is strictly on a different planet. This is one of the best teams and probably the best state for college basketball in the entire country in New Jersey. I go St. Benedict's, and I think it's big.
It's going to be a tall task for MCS against St. Benedict, so I have to pick the Gravies in this one. But MCS, again, I think they can put up a fight, and again, kudos to them for getting into this showcase. They're the only PA team that's playing in this showcase in Englewood, New Jersey.
And they should be proud. They're scheduling tough games. They're going to be better because of it, but this is just such a tough matchup.
It really is, and all four of these games should be pretty good, so we'll see what happens in these games. And Mike, thank you as always for joining me here on Varsity Voice.
Always great to be here.
Check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by the Physical Therapy and Wellness Institute. Go to www.ptwinstitute.com to find a location near you.
50 seconds left of the quarter. Is she going to get it in this first 7 minutes?
I don't know, but Christina Brown's going down the court. She passes it to Sophie Grady. Sophie Grady with the three-point shot. It goes in! 1,000 points for Sophie Grady. She becomes only the fourth player in Howard and girls basketball history to score 1,000 points. A beautiful three-point shot. The score is 11-5 in favor of Howard. And the balloons are coming out. The celebration is already done. And great moment.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. The Sports Fan Base Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.